All right, so we're gonna pick this up where we left off. We're at number 5. So the question says, Dave ran 2 miles in 12 minutes. Kieran ran 5 miles in 30 minutes. Who was running faster? How do you know? So that's again really quick time. It's hard for me to think because I just came up from the stairs and I'm already out of breath. So I clearly was not running as fast as either of these people. I'm not in any amount of shape to do that whatsoever. But that's all right. It's all right. So Dave and Kieran are both running. Our job is to figure out who is going faster and explain how we know that. What I would do to solve this, I know there's a lot of different ways to do it. You could figure out were Dave to have run 5 miles, would he have done it faster or slower? Were Kieran to have run 2 miles, would Kieran have done it at the same speed as Dave? All would work. My suggestion would figure out how long it took each of them to run 1 mile. Okay, what was their minute per mile pace? And I'm looking at Dave. I see that he ran 2 miles in 12 minutes. And I want to know how long it took him to run 1 mile. And Kieran, I see that Kieran ran 5 miles. I want to know how long it took Kieran to run 1 mile as well. And we need to look at our miles and figure out what we did to the original amount. Okay, so the amount that we're told in the problem to get to 1 mile. Okay, so we see that Dave ran 2 miles, and we changed that to 1 mile. I'm trying to. How could I get this? Okay, I'm trying to point to the 1. You get it. Okay, you get it. So, what did I divide 2 by to get to 1? Well, remember, any number divided by itself is 1. So to go from 2 miles to 1 mile, I divided by 2. Now, if I divided 2 miles by 2, that means I have to divide 12 minutes by 2 as well. And 12 minutes divided by 2 would be 6 minutes. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Great. I want to do the same thing for Kieran. Okay, so Kieran started with 5 miles, and now we're up to 1 mile. What did we divide 5 miles by to get to 1 mile? We divided it by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is going to be 1, so I have to divide 30 minutes by 5. 30 divided by 5 is going to be 6 minutes as well. So when I look at this and I compare Dave and Kieran's mile pace, I see that they both ran 1 mile in 6 minutes. So that tells me that neither of them was running faster than the other. They actually ran at the same pace. Okay, ran at the same rate. All right, so that would be my answer to number 5. Cool. And on the test, that's what I would suggest doing. But again, you can solve it however you feel like solving it. But my thought process, what's easy for me, is to figure out how long it took each of them just to run 1 mile. Go from there. Okay. Number 6. Okay, so I gave you a table, and you have to use this table to help you answer 3 questions. So let's go ahead. Let's just get going here. This table, it's obviously dealing with bagels and dollars because I see the labels on each column. It says number of bagels, and then the other one says price in dollars. First question, how many bagels can be bought for $20? So what I would do when I have a question like this, I'm going to put in whatever information I can into that table, as much as I possibly can. So the question is, how many bagels? So that tells me I'm not going to know how many bagels I have. Okay, that's a question mark. That's what we're trying to find. How many bagels? So in my bagels column, I might just put a question mark. I don't know what that is. Okay, and it says how many bagels can be bought for $20? So I'm going to go ahead in my dollars column, my price column, I'm going to put $20. So I have $20 here, and then there's some unknown amount of bagels, and that's my job to figure out. All right, so what I can go ahead and do, since I know that I have $20 total to spend on bagels, I'm going to take a look at the 5 right above it. And I want to figure out, what did I do to this 5? Because whatever I did to $5, I have to do to 12 bagels. Okay, we want to make sure we're doing the same things on both sides. Okay, make sure it's like a mirror. Okay, or symmetrical. Okay, so what did I do to 5 to get to 20? You might say, oh, you added 15 Yeah, you added 15, but again, when we're dealing with ratios, we don't add, we don't subtract, we multiply and we divide, okay? So what did I multiply 5 by to get to 20? Multiplied it by 4, right? 5 times 4 is 20. And whatever I did on one side, I want the other side to be a mirror, okay? So if I multiply 5 by 4, I need to multiply its neighbor, which is 12, by 4 as well. 12 times 4, it's going to be 48. So I can get rid of that question mark. And I know that it's 48. So for $20, I can get 48 bagels. Okay, sweet. Next one. What will it cost to buy 24 bagels? So I know that we have 24 bagels. It says 24 bagels right there. So in our bagels column, I'm going to put 24. I'm going to erase some of this multiplying stuff. And then I don't know the price. Now I can do a few things. Now that I have part of this table filled out, there's more information for me to use to help me figure out the price of 24 bagels. I can either use this ratio right here, right? 12 bagels is $5, or I could use this second ratio that we just came up with, which was 48 bagels is $20. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, I'll just use both. Okay, I'll use one and then I'll use the other one to check my answer. So we'll start with 12. Now I want to take a look at what I did to 12 bagels to end up with 24 bagels. I doubled it, okay? I multiplied 12 by 2 to get to 24. So times 2. If I multiplied 12 bagels by 2, I have to multiply the price of 12 bagels by 2 as well, which was $5. So $5 times 2, 5 times 2 is 10. Okay? So that means that 24 bagels is $10. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to check my work with that, with the second row, that second ratio, see if I'm correct, okay? So I could take a look at that 48. What did I do to 48 bagels to get to 24 bagels? Well, I divided by 2. 48 divided by 2 is 24. So that means that my price divided by 2 better be $10. Well, $20 divided by 2, it's going to give us $10, okay? So it checks out. It means 24 bagels is going to be $10. Great. And then the last one, what will it cost to buy 60 bagels? Few things you could do. You could multiply our first ratio of 12 bagels. We could multiply 12 by 5. Right, because 12 times 5 is 60. Do 12 times 5 equals 60, and then multiply the 5 by 5. Okay, that would work. Whatever 5 times 5 is, that would be our answer. Or we could do something completely different. Okay, maybe when we're looking at our table, we see that when we add 12 bagels and 48 bagels, we end up with 60 bagels. So since I added the number of bagels on my left side, I have to add the prices of those bagels over here. So I added 12 and 48, so I have to add those prices for that amount of bagels together. So I add $5 and $20. That'll give me 25. Okay, so 60 bagels is going to cost $25. All right, and if you're spending $25 on bagels, you're my kind of person. All right, bagels are good. Some cream cheese on there. Maybe some Nutella. All good stuff. All right. Unless, I guess, if you have too much Nutella, you get tired walking up the stairs like I do. So maybe not Nutella. Something healthier. I don't know. Okay. Number 7. It says a professional cyclist travels 50 meters in 10 seconds. And we're going to have to use that information to help us answer 2 questions. What I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm just going to set up a table. Just help me organize my thoughts and my information. My 2 units I know are meters and seconds. So meters, seconds. Okay, and I'll just kind of make a table here. Yikes. I'm not very good at making tables, guys. Okay. So I'll go ahead, I'll put the information that I currently have into this table. So it says a professional cyclist travels 50 meters in 10 seconds. So remember, meters column, I'll write 50. Our seconds column, I'll write 10. Okay. It says how many meters per second is the cyclist traveling? I'm like, man, I'm looking at that question. There's no numbers, no information at all for me to plug into this table at first glance, okay? But really there is stuff that we can put into this table. First thing is how many meters, okay? We don't know how many meters there are. So our meters column is going to be a question mark. I'll use a different color, make it look fancy schmancy. Question mark, okay. We don't know how many meters. And then it says per second. Per second, that's the same thing as saying 1 second, okay? So in my seconds column, I could just write 1. Okay, so how many meters per second? That's just like saying for every second. For every 1 second. Okay, so how many meters for every 1 second is the cyclist traveling? Now we can go back to our table here. Okay, we don't know how many meters the cyclist travels in 1 second. That's our job. So let's use the information from that first row of information, okay, 50 meters in 10 seconds, to help us find out how many meters this cyclist goes in 1 second. So let's look at our seconds here. What did we do to 10 seconds to get to 1 second? Well, remember, anything divided by itself is 1. So we divided 10 by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. So if we divided one side by 10, we're going to have to divide the other side by 10. It should all be like a mirror. And 50 divided by 10 is 5. So our answer for part A would be 5 meters. Cyclist is going 5 meters per second. And then the last part. How long will it take the cyclist to travel 15 meters? So I'm going to go ahead. I don't know how long it's going to take, so in our seconds column, I might put a question mark. It says, how long will it take? I don't know. So we want to figure out. How long will it take the cyclist to travel 15 meters? That's a number. I can plug that into our table. In our meters column, I'll write 15. Okay? And this is really convenient. I look at the row right above, and I have a 5. And then down here I have a 15. What did I do to 5 meters to get to 15 meters? I multiplied it by 3. 5 times 3 is 15. So if I multiplied 5 by 3, I have to multiply its corresponding number by 3 as well. So 1 times 3, that's going to be 3. So the cyclist has gone 15 meters. That's going to take 3 seconds for the cyclist to do. Okay. And again, that's just how I would approach those problems, but you might have something that works a little bit easier for you. Maybe it's something that another student shared in class or something you just been doing in class. Whatever works for you, you do that, okay? Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you guys for watching all the way through. And I need to go home now and I need to get some dinner because I am starving. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.